Hey Dio, this is the Armchair Critic, and let's talk about Paper Towns. Let me be blunt. This is the dumbest movie I've seen all year. And I saw Hot Tub Time Machine too. I don't... I don't know from the popularity of John Green. I've not read his books. But based on both the films that I've seen that have been adapted, this and Fault in Our Stars, I don't get it. I certainly hope the books are better than this, because this movie is awful. It's... This is teenage wish fulfillment. Teenagers wish they acted like this. Let me start over. I didn't like Fault in Our Stars last year. This is going to become an annual summer thing because next year is looking for an adaptation of Looking for Alaska. Paper Towns is one of those movies where you're constantly distracted by the fact that everything that's happening in the movie could never happen anywhere at all on the face of the earth. That's basically it. I sat there frustrated. I was squirming the whole time because this movie is so inept. Basically, it's the story of this kid named Quentin. And years ago, when he was 7 years old, fell in love with this girl named Margot, who moved in down the street. They were buddies, and over the years, from that time to the time that they were teenagers about to graduate from high school, they drifted apart. But they still knew each other, and he's sort of mystified by her. One night she climbs in his window and tells him, "I want you to come with me on an adventure." And she goes with him on an adventure, and he goes with her. They go out to the hardware store to buy some stuff, and then they go to 3 different locations to exact revenge on classmates, despite the fact that she explicitly tells him, "I have 9 things to do tonight." So the movie can't even get the math right. But he's captivated by her adventurous spirit, for some reason. The next day they go to school, or he goes to school, and she's not there. She's not there the day after that, the day after that, or the day after that. She just disappears off the face of the earth. But for some reason, he's captivated by her, and he thinks that she's leaving him clues. These little cryptic messages, spray-painted in different places, and written in books and things like that. They give clues to her whereabouts. And that's the whole movie. It's him and his little buddies. He has 2 friends from school, and then a third he makes friends with her, with this cute little blonde girl. And they sort of get wrapped up in this mystery about where Margot went. And that would be fine if you weren't distracted by the fact that these kids, and they seem like nice kids, do things that teenagers cannot and would not do. There's somebody in my driveway. And they do things that should get them arrested. They climb in and out of windows with, they never trip an alarm. They never alert anybody's dog. Nobody ever calls the police. It's just, I was frustrated by that. And at one point, Quentin and Margot go into a high-rise office building and walk right by the security guard. It's in the middle of the night. It's 2:30 in the morning. They just walk right by and just, "We're going to go on upstairs, okay?" That's it. You know, and you're constantly frustrated by that stuff, because it's like, isn't anybody calling the cops? I mean, and not to mention, spoilers, by the way, the third act of the movie, the kids get, Quentin and his little buddies, this is after Margot's left, get a message that she's gone to New York. So Quentin decides to borrow his mother's car and, just on the spur of the moment, skip school and drive to New York. They live in Orlando, Florida. And nobody ever calls him on that. He calls his mother and says, "Oh, well, I'm on my way to New York." Oh, okay. Just be careful. Yeah. Yeah. If I had been gone from the house for 2 hours, my mother would have wondered where I was. I know I bothered the people in the theater from all the groaning that I had. Here's the worst part. The worst part of this is that Margot's not that interesting. Margot is one of these people that thinks she's being deep and insightful, and really she's just being sort of annoying, saying things that don't make any sense. Well, we live in a paper town, in a paper world with paper kids and paper houses. What? I don't... Oh, this movie aggravated me. It thinks that things are deep and poetic when basically they're just being irrelevant and dim-witted. I saw a movie a couple of years ago called The Spectacular Now with Shailene Woodley and Miles Teller. That was about real teenagers doing real things. You know, they were falling in love and they were having a relationship and doing this. This movie, I have no idea because it takes place in a universe that I don't even recognize. I don't even begin to recognize. But it's basically, and the movie never really points this out, basically all these kids run around and commit misdemeanors. They just break into places. One night they wrap another kid's car in cellophane. They break into a kid's house and vandalize his bedroom. And I hated these kids. I really did. I hated these kids. And 10 minutes into this movie, I wanted it to be over. That's how much I hated it. We'll be right back.